Just one day after a FOX19 investigation into Cincinnati's false burglar alarm problem, the police department announces a policy change. Our investigation uncovers 3 major problem makers for city police, places where alarms go off for no good reason. Those alarms are taking cops off their patrol and wasting your tax dollars. Investigative reporter Jody Barr joins us now with the details on the new policy. Jody.
Well, Frankie, officers were having to spend hours filling out false alarm reports. They did it by hand. Now, that was a slow process. We're talking dozens of false alarm reports every single day. Now, after decades of this, CPD will now file their reports electronically, saving officers time and possibly giving the city accurate information about how serious this problem is. False alarms in Cincinnati happen so often.
An intrusion alarm at a school.
Dispatchers know exactly where those alarms sound just by hearing the address.
3425 Spring Grove Avenue.
Middle impound lot.
Yeah.
It's almost become a joke. The city passed an ordinance decades ago to fix the problem. CPD would charge higher fines for each false alarm call to a single address. We wanted to know who the city's worst violators are. CPD's chief didn't know. Do you know who's causing the biggest problem?
No, I don't have a list of the names. I know we have some usual suspects, if you will, that are always at the top of the list.
But we took CPD's own records and found out exactly who the troublemakers are. Cincinnati Public Schools led all false alarm violators with 3,500 false calls since 2011. This one school accounted for 274 of those calls. The district spokeswoman told FOX19 fining the district would not force them to fix their false alarm problems.
We believe that a partnership approach to this, rather than a fine approach, is the better way to go.
And it likely is. Our estimates show since 2011, if CPS paid the fines the city assesses for false alarm calls, the district would have paid taxpayers more than $2.5 million. But the city cannot charge CPS anything, and the false alarm numbers there aren't dropping. Do you believe it's fair for other property owners around this city to be held to a penalty and for Cincinnati Public Schools to get off basically scot-free for creating the largest amount of problems?
Well, again, we're working in partnership and actively at the moment to bring them down.
CPD records show the second highest false alarm ordinance violator is PNC Bank. PNC branches and ATMs across the city racked up 900 false alarm calls since 2011. And CPD's causing itself problems. Cincinnati Police's own impound lot racked up the 3rd most false alarm calls since 2011. The lot forced cops off patrol 64 times in 2014 to answer false alarm calls at a location that's staffed around the clock. Now here's an idea of the time false alarms waste in tax dollars and police resources. CPD spent 17,000 man-hours on false alarms since 2011. Now that's 8 police officers working nothing but false alarms in a single year.
Well, you know, that change now as CPD is going from paper reports to computer reports. I mean, what will this do to help men and women that are on the street?
Well, we tried to ask the chief and his staff that exact question. That was back Friday. We have yet to hear back from CPD on that. We wanted to know why they are doing this and what exactly they hope to achieve. But a couple of sources inside CPD told me this will speed up logging those reports and gives the city real-time numbers on how many false alarms are happening and who is causing these problems. Now, if you remember from our reports last week, we asked the chief who was causing the biggest false alarm problem. Again, as we showed you in that package, he said he had no idea.
You know, hopefully this policy can change that.
Yeah, they should have a better idea moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.